that's just nothing. And I really want to change that for as most people as I can.
Fantastic. So, but I'm elated at this. So can you tell me what shifted, what changed, and how did you get on this strength journey? Because, I'm just wondering, you've been a chartered accountant, for almost a decade plus, and then out of the blues, you wake up and you realize that your strength lies in interacting with people, and then you went on this journey. So can you tell me how that happened? And then let's start to talk about the meat of the matter today, where we talk about people, we talk about purpose, and we talk about profit.
Okay. So it was actually a very weird journey. I spent my life believing that I'm scared of people. Mostly because I am extreme introvert. So I just thought it was my mission to just sort of go chartered accountant, then I don't have to work with people. And then I did the strengths assessment, and then I realized that 7 of my top 10 is relationship building. So that was quite a surprise. And then I realized I'm actually very good with people, even though I'm introvert. So what I did very wrong was that my whole career I sort of tried to get away from people as far as possible, but actually my energy comes from people. So the moment I realized that, I was like, no, this is great. This has to change. So lockdown was one of the big challenges, and then I just realized life is really too short, because what happens is if you're in a job that don't excite you and don't give you energy, then things at home is not right, and the kids is not, you're just too tired to build relationships at home and keep the kids happy and everything. So it's just not worth it. So then I made the change to coach, and I haven't looked back since. It's just fantastic.
Okay, so now let's talk about this thing called strength. And for those that are joining us, we're having a strengths discussion, one of our series. I think this is the 11th of the series. And essentially, we try to have discussions around the strengths philosophy and how people can begin to discover themselves and apply themselves, purposefully and profitably, as the case may be, and even with passion. So you have your top 5 strengths. Can you throw some light as to who you are? Just tell us using your top 5 strengths, and maybe the audience will learn a thing or two. Yes.
Okay, Taiwo, you froze up a bit there, but I'll tell you my top 5 is
Yes.
Adaptability is number 1, which is just my favorite. And then back again.
Yes. So sorry, in case there's a glitch in the network, just keep on saying, so the question is, knowing your top 5 strengths, can you throw more light as to just talk about your top 5 strengths, and let's even know what you think as to how your strengths relates to your current story. How have you been able to use your top 5 strengths? So just talk through your top 5 strengths and how you use it effectively.
Okay, so my top 5 is adaptability, a relator, developer, responsibility, and empathy. So those 5 just basically get a huge kick out of coaching, because it's developing people and it's adapting to what they need. So it's very easy for me to adapt to people and how they are different. So I just adapt my coaching style and the sessions and everything just easy to what they need and who the client is and what their story is. And then the responsibility and the relator combo is just, it's easy for people to trust me, because that's just who I am. And I think also the chartered accountant part of me, confidentiality was always a big thing. So it's just part of who I am. And that is, it comes very easy. And the empathy really helps because I know what people feels, and it's easier for me to adapt because I know I can sense where they are and how they're feeling. So that's really just the whole package really helps me to enjoy the coaching so much.
Amazing, amazing. Okay, so now let's just even start to talk about. So when we say you want to help people or prevent people from wasting their lives or wasting their time, so let's talk about people. What have you noticed, in that space, as to saying it's about time to help people, start to live life that is purposeful and profitable. So talk to the people part.
I think strengths just hit the spot with where our energy lies, and that is mostly I see that our purpose is also hidden in the strengths. Just have to ask the right questions. So I seen that if it's like Gallup's research says, is the strengths is what makes us unique, and if we use them and we build on them, then we are more productive and successful and happy. So it's a very actually it's an easy answer to I think the Clifton strengths take a lot of the guesswork out of this, because I think many of us spend many years trying to figure out who we are and what we want to do with our lives and what's the purpose. And most people spend very many years. And I think a lot of us uh, can actually, if we do the strengths earlier, then we will get the answers a lot quicker. And I think that is also that's why I use strengths to prevent people from getting into careers that's not going to work for them. And I also think that people need to know what their strengths are to guide their careers into something that works for them. Because I think a lot of the times we are promoted to jobs that's not actually meant for us or that's not nice anymore. That's why I enjoy being a finance executive. And then suddenly I'm promoted to CEO. And now I have to manage processes and people and everything, but actually just like the finance part. So if people know what they want to do and where the energy comes from, then it's easier for them to deliberately guide their careers in that direction. And the same for businesses. So if businesses have the strengths and they know what their people are good at and they can help them to get to the place where they function best and where they get the energy from, then the whole business profits. It's not just the people. And I think the concept of well-being is something everybody is discussing now. And I think a lot of businesses think that well-being is an expense, because we have to all the well-being programs. It's just expenses, and but but the beauty is if you use the strengths with the well-being projects that actually work, if you do it right, then it can benefit the business as well. So I don't think it has to be profit versus people's well-being. I think or not think, Gallup's proven that it can be both if you just know how to do it. And another thing I also see is that if I specifically look at finance people, you don't get into finance because you like people. That's just we study finance because we like the figures, right? And the numbers. So I think a lot of people that's not made for human resource management or whatnot struggle to know how to work with people and how to manage people. And the strengths, it gives us the facts to use to manage people and to get it right. And that's what I love about the Clifton strengths part is the data and the facts. So it takes the guesswork out and it just gives us the analytical way to motivate people and to give them the recognition that they need in a specific way, and just how to manage them. Even if you don't have relationship building stuff high, you can use the facts and the data to still get it right and to still help the people. So that's fun.
Wow. Okay, so I love that bit around the people. We talked about the numbers. I love the thing you spoke around resources. And so I'm of the school of thought that HR has moved to the executive floor, and that people, human resource should now become human capital. Now, all our lives, we've been taught that a factor of production includes people, okay? But the people need to start to understand that they are the greatest asset of any organization. And I think that's been a major problem in Africa. Now, what are your own thoughts as to how best can we help people start to come into an awareness of their strengths, of who they are, an awareness of themselves, then ultimately start to talk about mastery or well-being? How have you been able to do that?
I think, again, Gallup's research is so valuable, but it starts with the manager. So the manager makes it or breaks it. That's just what it is. And I think a lot of managers end up in a management role. Maybe they don't even like it, or maybe they just sort of ended up there and they don't even know how. And I don't think that people get the support they need on how to manage. It's the same. Let's take an accountant again as an example. If you're a very good accountant, you get promoted to management, and then nobody taught you how to manage people. You were taught accounting. So I think the managers need more support. They need to learn and be taught and get the support on how to do this people management thing, because it's weird for most of us. It's weird. It's not only the human resource guys who get to manage people, and I think that's in the end the thing. Yesterday, no, it was the 13th of April, no? Gallup hit the 25 million milestone. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, 25 million, yes.
That's great. That's really great. It helps if you start talking about strengths and most people start knowing what you're talking about. It's not an entirely foreign concept anymore. That's great. But so I got some figures on there. That's really interesting. Can I share my screen with you and just show you that?
Please. Let me allow you to share the screen.
That'd be great. Okay, so this is just it's a bit now the engagement. So employee engagement is what we're talking about here, and that's also where the manager has a 70% influence, right? So this is from the website. I just copied the figures right here so I don't get it wrong. 81% lower absenteeism. It's a lot. It's a lot. Safety incidents.
Yeah, 64% fewer safety incidents.
Yeah. 41% fewer defects, like a quality sort of thing.
Yes.
14% higher productivity.
Wow.
That's a huge number.
That's huge.
10% higher customer ratings.
Fantastic.
Yes. And 18% higher sales. This is crazy. Okay, and then for the big one, 23% higher profitability. So this is actually, I think it wouldn't be wise not to at least try, because for this figures, you know what happens to a company's share price if the profit went up 23%?
The price will go up. the quarter will go up,
Yes. So that's the thing, and I think people don't see this. That's what I said about the it's not a people versus profit. And I 100% agree with you about the human capital part. And the fact is,
Mm,
we already pay people the salary.
mm.
So if we capitalize on them and not just squeeze them for every last bit of energy that they have, it is going to be more profitable. And that is it's just beautiful. This is just all the accountants will be excited with me with the figures. But it's really just it's quite something.
Okay,
Um
so wait, Sumarie, just looking at these numbers, and for those that are joining us, and please put on this, leave the slides. No, leave those
ah
slides.
sorry, let me
So
just
for
share
those
here.
joining us, we're having the strength discussion series, and essentially, this is supposed to further appreciate the strengths philosophy and how strengths can help you hit these numbers. So we're not just talking theory now. Gallup, during their analysis, I think 2 days ago, Gallup did 25 million assessments, tests on 25 million people. And it's this is the extract of all those that have done the test, that are, a percentage of those that have done the test and they are living their purpose. I've done my test, Sumarie has done her test, and I have a few other people that have done that test. And that's why you have that bracket. So you have 81% lower absenteeism, you have 64% fewer safety incidents, you have 41% fewer defects, and then when you take it on, you start to talk about increase in sales and then, in fact, profitability. So these numbers are real. These numbers are real. Now, Sumrai, can you please tell me what has been your own experience with these figures?
The figures, I haven't been in a privileged situation to actually track the figures myself for my own coaching. But in general, it makes so much sense if you think about it. If employees, if let take yourself for example, if I do what I love and I love my job and I love going to work, I have more energy. I just put more effort into it because I like it and I love for it and I can't wait to get to work. And then if that is how people feel about their jobs and about the managers, then they want to go the extra mile. And
Mm.
they so the absenteeism is one of those easy things to explain. If it's nice, if a job is nice, you like to go to work. So that's not even a thing. The safety incidents, I think it's a lot about how people, if you're on the job and you like what you're doing, you are there. You're
The
not,
presence of
you
mind. You
know,
have a presence of
yes,
mind.
yes, that's it. So I think maybe that's my guess about the safety incidents. And the same with the quality. If you care
Yes.
about what you're doing and you like what you're doing, then the quality will be better.
Mm.
If you're not that interested and you just because you have to get through 8 to 5, then you don't really care about the quality. So
Mm.
it's all about caring for the employees. And when employees feel cared about and they feel, and I'm not talking like roses and chocolates and hand holding caring, that's not what I mean. I mean
Mm.
like the the general feeling that their well-being is being looked after as best as the manager can. Because also it's a thing that employees is not, they don't have a long list of things that they want from a manager. They just want to know that that guy is trying his best to help in whatever way he can. It's not a shopping list that they want to tick off. They just want to know that the manager is there for them. And the productivity, that's the thing about the strengths. And I suppose you have a lot of experience with this one. But if people like what they do, they just do it better. If we use our strengths, that is the stuff that we're already good at. And if we build on that, it just gets better and better and better.
Mm.
Um, Customer ratings, the same thing. If I like my job, then it's easy for the customer to be satisfied because I'm doing a good job.
Wow.
And then all of that ends up in the sales and the profitability. And that is just because the people is the capital, like you
Mm.
said. It's really that.
Wow. Now, just to, and I love these numbers because these numbers speak to me. So we're saying in essence that when people become more aware and start to work on their strengths, develop their strengths and deploy them positively, um, over time, you will soon realize that they would start to have a better relationship with customers. And once you have a better relationship with customers, it would ultimately lead to higher sales because then people would have developed some form of relationship, and they're able to relate with you. And once there are increased sales, or when there's increased sales from one person, it ultimately increases profits. And this for me is almost like I need to work with this. I need to carry this as a snapshot daily to say, how can we get people to be more, all right, aware of their strengths and start to play to their strengths? Okay, so now you've talked about the people bit. We've also seen that you can't separate, it won't be versus, it won't be people or profit versus purpose, that all must work in sync. So tell me, how have you been able to marry all of this, you as an individual and with your clients? How have you been able to marry all of this to achieve the global purpose of what you want to achieve?
I think it differs from business to business. I think in the end, it's about I don't know if you're familiar with Simon Sinek's stuff. He has a very big focus on the why do we do
Why?
what we do.
Yes.
Yes, and I think that's in the end what pulls people together purpose wise.
Mm,
Because if we believe in what the company is doing and why are we doing this, then it's easy for people to know this is the purpose. If I say no, the purpose of the company is to sell 1,000 tires a day, then it might be exciting for a while, maybe especially if you have like a cheer or competition or something, might get a kick out of it, but it's not going to talk to the employee's soul. If you speak, if you have a purpose, that's why do we want to sell 1,000 tires a day? Let's say to get people on the road to get where they need to be happily ever after. Oh, you get what I'm saying? It has to be something deeper than what we do. It has to be uh, the the purpose is something deeper than the individuals. It has to be the purpose of how do we want to help our customers
mm,
and why. And I think that is the thing that brings the people together. And then we also, the very important part is to know that we can't do this alone. Um, and as soon as people start working together and start seeing each other's strengths and start borrowing, uh, can I quickly borrow your strategic? Mine is low. I need a plan for this. Just help me. And I know that you have high strategic, so I know you can do this. Um, then it's just easier. So now it's easy for me because I ask you for help. I'm not trying to make it up, which I'm not good at. And it's easy for you because it's just one of those things that you are very good at.
mm.
So it's just the total energy is just higher. So that is really where I saw the difference. The moment people start understanding each other and they start capitalizing on each other's strengths, that's where the beauty comes, and the energy gets higher, and the appreciation for each other is just it just flows, and
Yeah,
then you
I
know
I truly love that. You said something, and I feel that one of the missing link is the fact that most people want to work independently, whereas we are codependents. And I'm going to say that again. The beauty of strength is when everybody is working and applying their strength. So you could be in an office, and for those that are listening to us also, you could be in an office. Even though you try to work alone, you must lean on the strength of others just so as to be able to achieve, all of these figures we're talking about. Because these figures cannot truly be met unless you bring in to play, working with your other teammates. So I have instances where people are good at doing maybe strategy work, but some other guys are good at implementing. Now, what will give you a quantum leap is when you marry both strengths together, right? If I understand what we're saying. And so whoever is hearing us now should understand that you cannot work in isolation. So strength is dependent on working in a team, working and collaborating to produce the corporate objectives or the goal or the end in mind. And that's why you talked about the. Okay, so this speaks to me. Now, so let's talk around. Um, you're an accountant. You understand the role of profit, because it's easy for us to talk about people's well-being when every day you're slaving your life to pay salaries. Okay, you're slaving your life to make ends meet. So how do you not get impatient, trying to go along the route of the well-being and ensuring that people play to their strengths, rather than you focusing on profit, income, and profit.
I think it's the weird thing is, if if you if you automatically care about your people and you want to help them, then it's easy convince, because it's just the way it is. If profit is a higher mission for you than the people, then it helps to see the figures, because you're not going to get the maximum profit without your people at their maximum capacity. And if I say capacity, I don't mean them overworking. I mean uh, sustainable. That's a, that's something that I think the strengths really bring to the table, and the well-being concept as well. If you chase profits at the cost of your people, then you lose a lot of money training new people, because if someone burns out and you just get a new one, then there's a lot of cost involved there. And I think it's another calculation that you have to do to see if it's worth it. Because I think companies lose a lot of experienced people because of burnout, and they just can't anymore. And then they have to replace that. What does that cost you? So I think there's a lot of calculations that can just prove to you that you have to capitalize on your people and you have to look after them. Because if you look after them and they're okay, then they will go the extra mile for the business. And I think also the thing where the economy is not nice and everything is hard and the ends meet that you're talking about, I think it's now even more important to make sure that the people are okay, because the people are there anyway. You have to pay them their salary anyway. If they can become better at who they are and what they do best, then it will end up in the profits. If we stick with what we do and we just close our eyes and work harder, it's not going to get better. And I think our default response to problems is just don't think about it, just go, 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 go. Work harder, work longer. And that's the stuff that we have to stop. We have to step back a bit, do the calculations. Does it make sense to burn out the people? Does it make sense to implement a well-being program that's not going to work? Because I think maybe we just sort of put a bit of a remedy on a place that hurts just to calm our minds. So we say, no, we have a well-being program, But if it's not working, it's just costing you money. So I think if we just put a bit of thought into the strengths concept and see what it does to people. And the thing is, start small, start with the experiments, and I think then you'll see it will be suddenly it will just make sense. And I think that's the main thing. If you don't believe that the people are the thing, just start doing calculations.
Okay.
See.
Start experimenting, start calculating, start trying, and then mixing up the figures. I have a few people here. There's a Mutale. I don't know, Mutale, would you like to add your contributions to this discussion? There's also Philip. Philip, would you like to say a thing?
Hi.
Okay. Hello, Mutale.
Hello. Hi.
Yes.
This is an excellent discussion. Just looking at the numbers and how they actually translate into profits. So I really appreciate that you've taken the time to actually discuss this and go step by step. And also discuss the implications of not knowing the strengths of your team and how to productively guide them so that you can, and you also have this, and sometimes we do, I've got a background in banking, so I understand the whole thing about looking at the bottom line, what are our profits looking like? But it's important to remember that it's the people that bring those profits. And as much as we value the profits, we also need to look at their well-being and have a well-being program that actually works and will translate into something positive for the organization. Thank you.
Wow, thank you, Mutale. That's fantastic. Mutale, where are you calling in from?
Oh yes, I'm in Lusaka, Zambia.
Oh, great. And I know you're a certified Gala strength coach.
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Great.
So it's always been very exciting to hear the different perspectives from other Gallup strengths coaches as well. I've really learned a lot. So I really appreciate that you have this these discussions.
Great. I know we had Mutale some weeks ago, and we had a fantastic discussion, and I'm glad Sumarie has also brought some insights into our discussion for today. There's Philip. Philip,
Exactly.
would you like to, so thank you, Mutale. We'll be in touch. Philip, would you like to say a few things?
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I think for what we are doing so far is very great. I'm currently creating a group. I'm planning on starting an event group. It's not easy to actually gather people around in terms of their ability. But for what I've been learning so far, at least it's giving my insight on how to be able to work as a team. Perhaps some people may have more strength in certain areas that we can use some or tap into. Those who maybe are very low, we can also help them also achieve or come up. So perhaps we all cannot have 50-50 or 100-100 or 70-20 or 30, but my 70 can help someone's 20, my 80 can help someone's 20, and so on. So in that sense, when we are working together in that sense, we build a team. And so I believe we are doing well with what we are doing so far in terms of strength building. And that's something I've learned today.
Okay, great. Philip, it will be nice to let you know that there are also a better ways to deal with this. And so like Sumarie said, there's no longer guesswork. You could actually determine the strengths of your teammates. So I'm sure in the chat session, if you could drop your email, my people would get in touch with you on how you could start to do your strength test and how you could also help your team also find their strengths.
Okay, no problem. Okay, thank you so much. I'll do that very soon.
Great, great. So Sumarie, I'm sure we've had a wonderful discussion, but give me your last or final words, just so that we can wrap up this session. I'm truly enthralled at the insights you have dropped, even looking at the numbers.
I think the main thing for me is time is so precious, and we shouldn't waste it on stuff that doesn't work, and we shouldn't waste it on stuff that's unnecessarily suffering. If I have a teammate who can do this 5 times faster and really enjoys it, why don't I just ask him? And it's the same for me for businesses. If the people is so important, and that the human capital that you were talking about, that's really that's the thing. We can capitalize on people and still building them up, and not just squeezing them for the last bit. And I think also the very important thing is, because we are struggling, the economic and all the COVID and whatnot, it's so important to not waste time on inefficiencies. And that's business processes is one of them. I think we are too slow adapting what we can do better. But the main thing is the people. If we don't manage them efficiently, then we lose out on so much opportunity just for a better life, but also for a better business. And I think that is the important thing for me. Shouldn't waste time with struggling stuff.
Wow. It's been amazing. So this has been a kind of subtle message, but the message there is so strong. And I really must appreciate you, Sumarie, for volunteering and also helping people find their strengths. But beyond that, for also coming on today's series. I truly must appreciate you. I can't thank you enough. And at just a short notice, I've seen you also do great things. So I'm truly honored having you, and I'm sure even our audience, they are truly honored having you here. So truly, can we have details of Sumarie, technical team, in case we have people that want to contact her? It would be nice to have details online. Just so as we begin to wrap up, I can't even imagine it. We spent 45 so minutes, and wow, thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity. Really appreciate it. And I think what you're doing is also fantastic. I think you're going to help a lot of people. And I think maybe just kickstart the economy all by yourself and your team.
Thank you. So, I think there's Solomon. Solomon, do you want to put up Sumarie's details? Oh, okay. Okay, whatever it is, I don't know what's happening but we've had a great time today. I'll get them to share your contacts with all of our community. And I'm sure at some point, anybody watching the replay and they need your services, they would get across. Just not to take your time, because this time is money and you also don't want to waste people's time. I'd like to say thank you for all our audience, and the participants. Special thanks to Mutali, calling from Zimbabwe, Zambia, Lusaka, Zambia, right? We truly honor, yes, that we have the details of Sumarie. She's the founder of Coach Who Care and Global Strengths Coach. So you can reach her. And today has been awesome. And on this note, I'd like to say, seeing you next week with another wonderful guest. Thank you, Sumarie.
Thanks, Taiwo. Enjoy your day.
And you too. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone, for coming on. Truly appreciate it. Bye.
Bye.